Hi, I'm Choi, and today we're going to discuss prospective vendor follow-up. I believe that some sales consultants aren't calling their database quite simply because they don't know what to chat about, or they've already spoken about sales in the area, listings in the area and the market, so they need more topics to talk about. So what I've provided, or this video has been put together to really provide sales consultants a platform or a foundation that revolves the whole conversation so that they can get their desired outcome. So it's a default conversation or foundation of your conversation so that you can get your desired outcome, which is information and adding value. You want to get information from them so you know about their lives, and you want to add value to them to build up the relationship so that you get the listing when they're ready to sell. Okay, so I'll run through it. I'll say, hi, Mr. Smith, it's Choi. I won't say the company name. I don't like to say the company name because I want to know that they know who I am simply from my name. This is a test. It's a test to see, okay, my follow-up's been good, or because they know who I am without me saying real estate, okay? But if they don't know who I am and I have to say the company name, that's a signal for me that I have to step up my prospecting. So that's a good little indicator. Mr. Smith, I just have to apologise firstly. Look, I know it's been a little while since we've last spoken. And the eyes open up, the ears open up because you're apologising. And you say, look, I wanted to just say sorry, it's been such a long time since I've last spoken to you. I wanted you to know that I haven't forgotten about you and your real estate goals and needs. I just wanted to give you some breathing space and respect your space. So that just allows them to open up and drop barriers a little bit more, okay? Last week I sent you a report on recent sales that happened in the area. Did you receive that report? Fantastic, great. Okay, and how did you think your house stacked up against other houses in the area on that report? Now this is a test as well. If this can lead into a conversation, and if this leads into a conversation, that means you know that they're probably closer to selling than you think they are, because they actually read the report and they know the addresses and they can continue to talk about it. Whereas if they just say, oh no, I didn't read it, then they might not be that interested in the marketplace, so they might be further away. Another way to test this is to go, okay, and how did you think your house stacked up against ABC Street, number 3 ABC Street? And if they stutter or things like that, that way you know whether or not they read the report, and if they've read it, whether or not they're interested in what's going on in the marketplace. So it's just another way to gauge where they're sitting in their pipeline of when they're going to sell, okay? Okay, now since you've got me on the phone, Mr. Smith, did you have any questions for me? Generally they might say no or something like that, and if that's the case, I'll just talk about how great the market is or any of our great results recently. But I will also generally get the question of, oh, how is the market? That's the common question that people ask real estate agents. I go to parties, anything. I walk to the shopping centre, someone's always asking me how's the market. So I'm going to talk about a line that I got from Tom Ferry, real estate coach. Look him up, he's great. This is his line. He says, well, that depends. It depends on which market. You see, there's a few markets. There's the market whether if you're looking to buy into, so you're the buying market, the selling market, if you're looking to sell, the leasing market, if you're thinking about letting out your own property, or if you're thinking about renting a property. So there's 4 different markets there, and each one of these markets are affected differently by the economy. Which market are you more interested in? That's the drop of the line, okay, the bait. The way that they answer that gives you more information, okay, on where they're sitting, what they're doing, where they are in their real estate life, okay? Now, just another way to drop barriers, because the conversation's gone for a little while here, so another way to drop a barrier is, look, Mr. Smith, I know you might not be doing anything right now, but hypothetically, okay, if you were to do something later on down the track, so once again, I'm dropping barriers, hypothetically, if you were to do something later on down the track, would you stay in ABCville, or would you move out of the suburb completely? Would you stay in ABCville, or would you move out of the suburb completely? Now this is a yes or yes. It's multiple choice close in essence. So what that means is no matter what answer they give you, if they're going to stay in their suburb that you're calling them from, or they're going to move out of the area completely, they're giving you a yes. They're giving you a yes to selling. They will be selling. So a lot of the time you call up a prospective vendor and you say, I just wanted to know if you got any plans of selling. They actually think we mean straight away, okay? And because they think we mean straight away, they say no, because they might be 6 months away, so they think there's no point saying yeah in 6 months' time. Or you're asking such a direct question, you're asking them, are you selling it? And they know if they say yes, you're going to follow them up really, really hard. But in this, you're actually not asking them if they're selling. You're asking them where they'd move. but because they're moving, you know they're going to be selling. Okay, so it's a multiple choice question. No matter what answer they give you, it's a yes, and you'll see why we lead into this conversation. So hypothetically, I know you might not be doing anything at the moment, but would you stay in Xville or would you move out of the area completely? Okay, fantastic. And would you get a bigger or a smaller home? So that way you know if they need to upgrade or downsize. And would you move closer to the city or further away from the city? Now, it's very important here that you make this a conversation, and I'll talk about that in a few more moments, okay? So you don't just get the answer and move on to the next question. Okay, now, so stay or go in the suburb, bigger or smaller, close or further away from the city, and what kind of time frame would you be looking at? Pause, silence, let them answer, okay? Silence can be your best tool of the trade. Let them answer. And if they don't answer, then give them a multiple choice. Would you do that in the next 6 months or 1 year or 2 years? And then they will answer from there. So that just allows them, it gives you more clarity as well. You need to know the time frame that people are going to be doing their real estate transaction in, because that way you can set your trails appropriately. Okay? So if they're selling in 1 month's time or they're selling in 10 years' time, you've got to act differently with them and put them on the appropriate trail. Okay? Now, just a couple of tips. What I like to do is I like to talk about the last thing we spoke about and then get future information. So, Mr. Smith, last time we were on the phone, you spoke about X. So X might be that you're not selling until your daughter Julie finishes year 12. Okay? Then once she finishes year 12, you might be thinking about moving because you don't want to take her out in such a crucial moment in her life, in her education. So I might say, Mr. Smith, last time we spoke on the phone, you spoke about Julie and how she's in year 12 and you didn't want to do anything, and I completely agree with you. I understand that why do that. These are important years of her life. It's a great foundation. But look, she's got an exams in the next couple of months. How's that all going? She's studying well. Fantastic. Well, I just wanted to wish her all the best. And look, I just wanted to know, she's going to be starting senior school, so year 7 now. Is there a particular school that you wanted to get her into, and because of that wanted to be closer to that in terms of housing? And then, so that's talking about the past, but then it's also talking about the future, and it's making it a conversation. And that's the next thing that I'm talking about. It's about flowing, don't interrogate. So it's not you want to stay in the area or move out of the area completely, and they say, I'll move out of the area completely, and then you move on to the next one. You go, okay, what suburb would you move to? Okay, and do you have friends or family that live there, or just closer to work, or what makes you like that suburb? I like the suburb as well, but what really what's the main purpose that leads you towards that suburb? So you make it a conversation, okay? Talk about what they're talking about. Every call there's a sale made, or someone's getting sold. It's either you or them, okay? They're selling you on the fact that they've got to go shopping, or they're not selling, okay? When in fact everyone really is selling. They're going to sell either this today, or they're going to sell in the next 20, 30 years. Everyone's selling. You just need to ask the right questions, okay? So you need to have a goal, and your goal is to get information, build rapport, add value to them, and you need to make sure you do all of this before you hang up, because you're not just making calls for the sake of it, okay? So yeah, that's prospecting. That's the foundation of prospecting, and getting the right information and how to get the information. I think it's crucial to know that this is a long-term thing. This is what we call the pipeline. And so it's not about just looking for people that are selling right now. We're looking to build up relationships with, in fact, people that are thinking about selling probably 12 months onwards, because the ones that are selling right now, you probably have to go against other real estate agents in terms of the listing presentation. Whereas if you're talking to someone and they're selling in 2 years' time, 3 years' time, they're beautiful, because you've got 3 years to create that trust. And when you create that trust, you're replicating the ideal client. So watch that video as well. I did a video a few videos ago about replicating the ideal client, and this sets all that up. This sets up replicating your ideal client. So that's our prospective vendor follow-up. I'm Michael Choi. I hope you enjoyed.